Michigan State catching 3 against Minnesota. This line opened Michigan State -2.5. I had to take the 3 here with the home team. Look, Minnesota has been great. Similar to Michigan, they've played nobody, absolutely nobody. And they played Colorado, who might be the worst team in the country, New Mexico State, and I think Western Illinois. Nobody. So this is kind of a tough spot for them in a way. It's like you go from playing absolutely nobody to then on the road in a raucous environment for your conference opener against a team off of a loss. And on top of that, Minnesota won't have its leading receiver, Autman Bell, who's out for the year, which is massive because how do you beat Michigan State? You throw against their garbage secondary. Now, they had a couple starters out on defense last week. I still don't know the status of them for sure. Jayden Reed, their best receiver and their top return man, he was out last week. I'm hearing rumblings he's going to play, but I don't know yet. So those guys are obviously huge. But at least Peyton Thorne started to develop a connection with Coleman, that receiver who had 2 touchdowns, and they really, he could not complete a pass to him to start the year. And they finally kind of built a little connection there in the Washington game. And they, Michigan State came back and started to look a little better. So I think it's a better matchup for the Michigan State defense. Now you want, one of the best defensive tackles in there. You want, your full arsenal of defense. And we don't know if they're going to have that. They've also lost another key starter for the year to an injury, but going up against the Minnesota rush heavy attack, not having to worry about Autman Bell, I have to take the 3 here, even if I'm backing an absolute garbage head coach, per his words. Insert clip. So yeah, Sparty Nation, I'm with you here. And it was just a joke about Tucker. I think he said that, and I think we'll get the clip in there.
I love Mel Tucker. The humility, the chip on the shoulder, he's perfect for Michigan State. But listen, I'm with you 100%, because with Minnesota not having any passing options on the outside, they're going to rely heavily on that run. And Michigan State has been just fine against the run. 6th in line yards defensively, 4th in tackle grading per PFF. The big problem with Michigan State last week was that they were 2 defenders down in the back 7 safety corner. And that's why Washington was able to just light them up. If those players are back, then that's great news for the defense. And I don't think they're going to allow any explosives anyway to this Minnesota offense through the air. And they're well equipped in the front 7 to defend the rush. So I do like Michigan State for that reason. Why have I not bet it yet? We finally have some 3s in the market, but the whole Jayden Reed, Peyton Thorne has been out of sync for 11 quarters this year. It was that second half where they started hovering around backdoor range against Washington. That's the first time Peyton Thorne has made any kind of connection with any receivers not named Jayden Reed this entire season. So if that carries over to this game, they're going to be able to take advantage of the Minnesota defense. I'd like to have Jayden Reed playing this game, not just because he's Peyton Thorne's favorite target, not just because he's one of the most electric players in all of college football, but because he returns punts and he returns kickoffs. And that is extremely important to this team and to the spread, more than what they're accounting for. So looking for Jayden Reed news. Would love it if they got their 2 defensive backs back. But to me, I'm right. I'm with Sparty all the way. And we may have to wait till Saturday morning to get some news on who's going to be on the field for the Spartans.
Yeah. Jacob Slade, too, their defensive tackle, maybe one of the top 5 defensive tackles in the Big Ten. He was out against Washington as well. Xavier Henderson, an all Big Ten safety. Those are the names to keep an eye on.